So, I've been running experiments in my apartment for a while now. I've been a child of science for quite some time. Gaia was my first friend. I used to collect blades of grass and all kinds of samples from outside and study them, and all kinds of animals. I would collect them and put them in tanks. My study was to find out, this is what I did as a child, to find out how many of whatever critter that it takes to be in a small amount of space, like a fish tank, 10-gallon fish tank, before they start eating each other. I've been doing this experiment now for a long time. I'm almost going to be 40 years old in 8 days. I just felt like I should just clue you all in, because we're living in a time where we have people who talk about overpopulation and they need to kill people, and then you have people that are talking about smart people being underpopulated, and oh, we need to kill people, or oh, we need to spread our seed all over the earth of supposed smart people, and because there's too many dumb people. Mind you, they created the programming that created a lot of dumb people, and they created a program that created a lot of sexually driven people that have no self-control. They did that. Instead of fixing those problems and backwards engineering the shit show that they created, they figure the best option for us is to, like Elon Musk, let's impregnate the world like that. It's asinine. I mean, technically, they think it will cost less money, but overall, it's gonna cost more money. Because look at how much money this fucking dude spends and does how much for humanity. General public is doing more for humanity than they're doing for humanity, and it's proven time and time and again. Anyhow, I saw somebody post like, "Oh, we're all the same. You know, all that matters is your happiness. What makes you happy, and this and this and that. And we all shit the same. We all piss the same, and da da da." We do not all shit and piss the same. All right. And just to educate you, I'm going to break my own HIPAA rights right now for this, because eventually you might see me drunk one day pissing on the side of a tree like you. Well, not like you. Technically better than you. But that is not what I came here to say, because I found out, because I'm not going to tell you all the details, but I found out that I have to tell them all the details. Anyway, as a girl, I have a bladder condition that makes me not be able to pee like regular people. I can't pee at all. Well, I've been experimenting with that too. But without having excruciating pain in my bladder and in my kidneys, if I hold my pee for too long, and I can't, it's not like I'm holding it, it just doesn't want to come out. So I had to have 3 bladder surgeries just so that I could be able to stick a tube inside of me so that I can pee. And it's not like those bags where like they cut. I used to have those bags where they make 2 little slits in the side of your in your abdomen, and then they stick the tube in there and connect it to bags. No, I used to have those. Now I just take a regular tube that they make, a catheter, and I put it in there and I go pee. Now, being that the healthcare is the way it is, I would like to shed light on how ridiculous that my life has been when it comes to just doing something so basic as taking a piss. Guys can just hold their pee-pee, pull it out, and boom, they get to piss. They can pee. Me, I have to go get a sterile tube, put it in me, and then piss. I used to get a lot of bladder infections, UTIs, all the time. They used to give me antibiotics, and what they did was they would take the urine and then they would send it to a lab. But then they would write me a script for some type of antibiotic. The antibiotic, I would take it. Well, what was happening was my infection was becoming smart. The infection was saying, they're giving you antibiotic. They don't even know who I am. They don't know anything about me. And they want to take an antibiotic and give you an antibiotic and try to take me out. I'm not going out. I'm not going out. I'm going to become resistant to what this one antibiotic that they keep giving you, which is Cipro. Cipro. Now, I would take the Cipro for a couple days, almost about a week before they got labs results back. Once they got their lab results back, they would say the antibiotic we're giving you is not the right antibiotic because you have this strain of bacteria and for your UTI. So now we have to give you a different antibiotic. So, and it's normally stronger. So I take this antibiotic, and then the bladder infection would go away. But then it would come back, like not even a couple weeks later. I was doing everything right, but just using the catheter in general makes you more susceptible to having a UTI. So what did I do as the intellectual that I am? I started to get annoyed, number one. That's what I started to do. And what I did was, I said, I'm going to see what will happen if I just use my catheters, because catheters are PVC. I'm allergic to latex, so they're PVC. So they're plastic. Now, my carbon footprint on these catheters are pretty high. So I was like, what can I do to reduce this? The first person that ever had a catheter, it was a copper catheter. And that was one of my ancestors. Who was it? Was it Benjamin Franklin? Or was it a U.S. president? I forget his name. Anyway, one of these freaking old ass white dudes that we're related to. They had a problem. They were the first ones to create the catheter. I'm using that catheter, but now in plastic form because they're cheap as fuck. Because metal is always better. But anyhow, so what I started to do was I started to buy unsterile catheters, just regular enema type catheters, the ones that they put in the anus. They're shaped the same, everything's the same. I buy them on Amazon and that's it. They're cheaper than the ones that I buy, the medical grade ones that are sterile. Mine are like $50 a box. So I've been getting these my whole entire life. Now 40 years I've been alive, and it's been costing me that much just to piss. Okay? Now, some might call it radical. They want to call you radical on the left. And we may be radical in a lot of ways. A lot of ways but the ways that we need to be, that we're being radical, are ways that we need to be radical in the times that we have, or we wouldn't be in the ridiculousness that we're in right now if we were a little bit more as radical as I am. But that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, what I have come to realize is that I raised my immune system by taking supplements and being more natural. Stop eating almost all processed foods. Stop eating mostly all fast foods. And don't get me wrong, I still will have cheat days, and I have them, especially when it's my time, getting close to my time of the month. I'll do it. But generally, I cook with all natural herbs, and I take specific supplements of plants that were stolen from us that we now have to buy back. And I do a lot of research on the type of natural medicine that will increase my immune system, also balance my hormones, so that I can overall be balanced in general, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's been working really well. It helped me with my acne. I have a little bit of scars because I was in the hospital for like 35 days because I refused to take medication while I was there, which is my patient rights, but they were completely ignored, and I was coerced with threat of not being released and being sent to a state hospital if I didn't take these medications. So I took them. Then again, on my day of me supposing to be released, they said I have to take a 3-month vaccination. It's not a vaccination; it's a shot, a antipsychotic. Because apparently, when you are a shaman, or when you have visions and when you see things, and you're a spiritual person, and they want to disempower you or try to debunk spirituality in general, and use assert their usurped ass authority, because they're usurpers. The people that are telling us what to do, the people that are working with the people that are telling us what to do, all of those people are usurpers to both sides of my family's thrones. So it's basically a bunch of frauds trying to grasp onto whatever power that they have left in order for them to maintain their power over us, while they're silently trying to kill us. Now, this would be something that would be silent if I would have said, you know what, let me just keep my mouth shut. But what I know is that narcissists are the type of people that say, and people with narcissistic tendencies are the type of people that say, what happens in this house stays in this house. Okay? They're the type of people that do that. Because you can't possibly talk about what happens in our house, because what happens in our house will now expose these people and what they're doing. But I can no longer continue to do that. I have been against that for a while now, and it's obvious because all of the attacks against me. It's proof that when you do speak out, you do get targeted. But that's here and there. Now, what I realize is once your immune system is strong, I haven't taken antibiotics in, I don't even know how many years. I lost track. It's longer than 6 years because when I built my immune system up, I didn't get sick for 6 years. I used to get upper respiratory infections, bronchitis, pneumonia. I had walking pneumonia one time. The doctor said I could have died if I didn't go in there and get this x-ray because I was having problems like breathing a little bit. And when he did the x-ray, he realized that I had walking pneumonia. And I was getting it every single season. I have not been sick now for over 6 years. I did not get COVID. I'm not vaccinated. I'm the type of person that they want dead because they don't want this to get out. And I want you to like, share, and subscribe because while you might not agree with everything that I say, this is going to be something that you're going to agree on. Now, I know a lot of you, I even advocated for you guys to get vaccinated because they lied to us. And it's something that we keep calling out. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I said get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated because they were making it seem like it was something that the vaccine was going to make you less likely to get COVID. And if it was less likely and it would make it less likely that you would die from COVID. They did not hold true to those promises. Everybody that I know that has gotten the vaccine has had COVID more than one time, and they have gotten it just as bad or worse, not less. So all of that shit that the health people were saying was a lie. What worked? What I did was not a lie. What I did worked. What I've been doing has been working. It's worked so much that when they're doing all this stuff to our healthcare, sorry, I just ate. When they're doing all this stuff to our healthcare, and they think that they're gonna fucking kill me and stop me because I don't have proper health care and my income is whatever it is, that's not stopping me. I'm just getting stronger. My body is getting more resilient because I now am not just buying unsterile catheters. I've been now reusing catheters. At first I started reusing them and I was just reusing them and washing them with Dawn dish soap and that's it. Then I said, let me try to use a little peroxide in there, make sure I disinfect a little bit here and there. Couple months apart, I'm using them, I'm washing them like that, and then just every once in a while, every couple months, putting some peroxide in them and disinfecting them like that. Then I started saying, fuck it, I'm just going to go all out. Leave them sitting there laying in the sink, and then just rinse them off with water, right? That's a breeding ground for bacteria. Meanwhile, I have not still had a UTI. In several years. And I've been doing this in several years. So all this shit that they're trying to do to fuck me up, it's not working, motherfuckers. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting Super Saiyan level. You're creating Super Soldier here. This Ninja Turtle is mutated to Super Saiyan level. These catheters are going in there dirty. Rinsed off with some regular ass water. Matter of fact, you got so much chlorine in the water, it's cleaning them like that. Once that biofilm comes off of that plastic, I just put the catheter in there and piss again. I can stand up and pee. I stand up and pee. I don't sit on a dirty ass toilet. If the toilet's dirty, I'm not sitting on it. All that being said, you're spending all of this money on research and all this money on science. All because you want to prove that your Western science is smarter than Eastern science. Meanwhile, we are fucking making people into super soldiers with that Eastern medicine. With our natural medicine. And you now have no control over them. You thought you had control. You don't have no control over them. Because they realized that what you were doing was bullshit this entire time. Let that shit sink in. Because all your little moves that you're making that you think are affecting us, it's not affecting us. I have still not been sick. It's over 6 years. You better get your act together, because all you guys are doing is taking the little pills that they give you, taking your antibiotics, taking your antipsychotics, taking all that shit, and they're fucking you up. The shit that you have that's wrong with you, if you took cognitive behavioral therapy, you wouldn't have those problems, or they would at least be reduced to a minimal, to the point where you could at least function at some decent capacity, better than you were before. Because their shit is not fixing you. Their shit is making you worse. Why would you take anything if you were never homicidal and suicidal? Why would you take anything that the insert says has a small percentage of making you homicidal and suicidal? Why would you ever do that? Even if it's 1%. You better shut up. You're in trouble. I don't want to hear your mouth. That's what I'm doing to y'all. Because y'all be like this. Yap, 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 yap. Oh, let's do this. And then y'all are in trouble with me. And I'm not the one you want to be in trouble with. You think the feds are the people that you should be worried about being in trouble. I'm not the one you should be worried about, or that you should be sitting over here not worried about being in trouble with. You should be worried about being in trouble with me. Because the way it's looking like, I'm going to live longer than all y'all. And I've been living through how many things already? And I know all your tea. I got more than 12 years worth of files on you. Documents on your behavior. Whatever you came up with in the little small amount of time that you try to combat me in the courts and try to drag my name through the courts, after all the accolades I made, even as a disabled person, a person with disabilities, even a person on the spectrum, you trying to tarnish my name and defame my character like that because I caught you out there doing shit you weren't supposed to do, and because you were discriminating against me and abusing the elderly. That shit is coming out. So nothing is going to help you. Nothing is going to save you. Now, the rest of y'all out here just trying to figure out what we doing. All that shit that they were saying. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit there and act like a measles outbreak didn't happen. Will I sit there and act like I know that we had COVID that broke out of a fucking lab, and measles could have literally came out of a lab so that they can make the fucking Hawaiian population look like shit? So that they could vaccinate them? I would say that. They do that. They don't mind putting a storm on you. They don't mind putting disease on you. They don't mind putting antibiotic resistance on you. They don't mind that. But when you start talking about anti-vax and things like this, these people start getting really shook up, because some vaccines are good. Other vaccines, not so much. And then doubling down, pushing through vaccines that have not been tested, and doubling down on children getting vaccines, like 10 vaccines in one type deal. You're not supposed to be doing that. And our bodies were made perfectly. Whether they were born disabled, with disabilities, or not. It doesn't matter. They were made perfectly. Because you're going to be a piece of the puzzle that everybody is trying to put together. If you can couple, because I drink the poison. I drink the poison, smoke the cigarette, smoke the weed. I do that. That's the only thing that I do. But I don't take any of their pills. And they do not like that shit. And they have enacted a force against me to try to force me now to take this shit, when I haven't done anything to anybody. All I've done was try to protect my neighbors, and that's it. And that's what happens when you try to protect your neighbors. They don't want you protecting your neighbors, because then now you're going to operate with other countries like me. You're going to go out. You're going to talk to people from other countries. They already don't want you to travel. That's why they want to keep you impoverished and let some people travel and you not travel. But on top of that, they don't want you to even use the internet and be speaking to people from other countries, talking to anybody. When there's intellectuals, there's people of all different types everywhere that you should be getting and interacting with, so that you could get a better understanding of the world in general, especially if you haven't traveled. If you haven't traveled globally, you definitely should be doing that. Meeting all types of people of all different types of ilk from everywhere, so that you can have a more broader understanding of what's happening around you. They don't want you to do that. They want you, what's happening in this house stays in this house. Don't talk to nobody. We're security. We're protecting you. You're not protecting shit. How many fucking times have we been hacked? How many times have you fucking sold us out? You're not security. You're a fucking mole in our house. The niggas that are running the house, the niggas that are running the Senate, all of you guys are fucking moles. And if we want to look good, what do people that want to look good do? They cut their moles off, laser cut them off with surgical precision. Surgical precision. Those of us who don't mind, we keep our moles like this. We keep them and we look at them and we tell them right in their fucking face. You know that you are a product of the fucking ridiculousness that our ancestors were being subjected to. I'm proud of my little mole until it decides to be cancerous. Then once it starts to be cancerous, then it's gotta go. The House and the Senate and Congress, you guys are being cancerous. You're cancerous to us. You gotta go soon. You're on your way out. You're on your way to be laser cut off. Laser cut off. Because all the money that you keep taking from us and all the money that you keep... Not only are you taking money from us, you're getting paid enough money that you could travel across the entire United States on your fucking salary to campaign yourself. But you're reaching out to people that are below the poverty level and people that 42 million people, you're asking them for donations. In the middle of this motherfucker, you're asking people for donations. You should be ashamed. You have no shame, though. And somehow, and this is somehow that's better. It's not somehow. That's even still better than taking AIPAC money. That's still even better than that. Because they're just flat out, we're slaughtering the children and starving the children, assassinating the children. We've been doing that to you guys. But, you know, whenever you decide you start getting woke enough, then we start killing these fucking children overseas. Starving them and doing all this. Every single time. Anytime some major shit is about to happen that exposes their asses, especially in my life, all of a sudden there's war in Gaza. It's a pattern. I recognize the pattern. And then I have to focus my time on them. And not on myself. And on my drama. And on dragging the fucking pieces of shit that have been treating me like shit for 12 fucking years. Dragging their asses to the court. Myself. This is strategic. It's what's been going on. And it's what's been going on a long ass time. But a lot of people not noticing it because they're like, we got to be up on the T. It's right next to you. Right in your life. It's right in your life. Fucking with you like that. I'm just here to expose it because I'm not suicidal and I'm not homicidal. Now, if somebody wants to touch me, they can catch these hands. These people have a problem and they keep thinking that they're going to fucking keep putting their hands on me. And that's not what we're going to continue to do. Because anybody can get got in these streets. And I always tell you it only takes nothing but $50 in a crackhead to deal with some fucking problems in somebody's life. Problems like this. And y'all seem to act like you don't understand that. Or you created a whole bunch of army of fucking crackheads that you can spoil that'll do whatever the fuck you say. And that's another thing that you're doing. Now, everybody can form their own opinions. But a lot of you have your little blinders on and you don't see anything. You don't see anything but what you want to see. So I'm just here to show you other things. Because I'm obviously somebody you don't want to see. I'm obviously somebody that you don't want to see. The things that I think and the way that I feel, that's something that you don't want to see. Some of you are annoyed at my voice. You have misophonia. You can't even stand my voice. You have a hatred for my own voice. That's a personal problem. That shouldn't have nothing to do with me. Everybody should have a voice. That's not what I'm seeing. Just getting better, but everybody doesn't have no voice. Most of the time, all they're doing is just peddling some shit or a bunch of horny, addicted to sex people. That's what I'm seeing. And while sex is good, as a lord of the genitals, nobody should be able to do you better than you can do you. Because you should know yourself that well. Do you want to make it a party? Do you want to make it nice and extra? Do you want to find people that work with your body? Surely. But for y'all to be this fucking horny, they programmed you really extra. They got you real extra. Y'all looking, I don't know, we're gonna have to put you we're gonna have to do, I don't know, reverse programming on you. You need some abstinence in your life. And then once you get the abstinence and you start feeling like you're gonna lose your damn mind and beat somebody and kill somebody, you need to take your ass to the gym. Stop being lazy as fuck. You gotta work that shit out. You gotta work it out. You need to do something like that. Anyways, 25 minutes. I feel like this is long enough. Your attention spans are only, 30 to 60 seconds anyway. So we're just going to leave it there. And please stop calling me while you are beating your meat. That shit is disrespectful. Somebody should punch you in the throat. Y'all niggas are weird as hell. Let that shit go. If you got all that time to be calling me like that, then you need to go find you something to do. And not beat your fucking meat on fucking webcam like the whole internet can't expose you that this is you that's doing that shit. In whatever country that you're in. We're in 2025. Your IP address can be gotten. Your cell phone can be gotten. Everybody will know that it's you that called Breonna Kelly beating your fucking dick. Everybody will know that. Maybe then you'll stop doing that shit. Maybe that's what we need to do with you, is just expose you publicly, because that's what you need to, that's the only way that's going to get you to act right. That's what's happening with these politicians. That's what's happening with these fucking people in Wall Street. That's what's happening to y'all. You got sex problems and you got drug problems. Now, I'm going to leave you right there with that and just let it sink in. These are the people that's running our country. And running it off the backs of the people that they're fucking silently slaughtering.